sure. Let's see. This is the first time. So let's do this. Okay. So we know what the topic is, and that is the discussion on life after being a caregiver. I was the caregiver for my mother for probably about 7 years. She transitioned last May 2019. And it takes time to find your way, that's for sure. Right now, I am just doing the work as far as regaining Cecilia. Because when you are a caregiver, your life is like totally dedicated to the person that you're caring for. And so you kind of lose sight of who you are, and you're just kind of going through the motions as far as making sure that person is good. Um, you're also making sure that any of their health issues is being addressed. I had to deal with a lot as far as her. I did have aides, health aides to assist me, but then you have those glitches when the aides fall out, and then you're getting coverage. Sometimes the coverage comes through, sometimes the coverage isn't great, and so you have to deal with all these nuances. But the bottom line is when your loved one transitions, not only are you having to deal with the grief of losing that person, but now you have to figure out your new normal. And that process has been a process, figuring out my new normal. I have also, um, I did counseling because you feel stuck. You gotta feel lost. And me being an only child, and my dad had passed in 1996. So truthfully, I even felt orphaned, you know, um, to an extent. Like, where's my mom? Where's my dad? But the, the main thing is trying to get back to who I was, not more so who I was prior, but to who I was as far as a person that's pursuing her dreams. I still have a nonprofit called Women of Virtue Incorporated, and all of that just got shut down because my mom became my priority as her caregiver. You know, next month, November, is National Caregiver Month, and caregivers need to be celebrated, but also there needs to be a point where um, they also get a break, because of course, caring for anyone, you can become burnt out, and that kind of that you have a residual once that person has transitioned. You kind of have this residual of that. I mean, I recall even now. I mean, I sleep to the point that I'm like dead, because I slept so lightly when I was caring for my mom. I had to put um, baby monitors in my room so I could hear her. So I slept very lightly, not really realizing I wasn't getting really good sleep because I was on call. I was that person. I was that caregiver. And so now um, I'm realizing that when I go to sleep, I am gone to sleep. And one time it kind of scared me that I went so deep that I didn't hear, a person coming in. So, but that's like a residual. Some people, have injuries from, handling their loved one. I really don't have that much of physical issues, but definitely mentally, emotionally, and kind of spiritually, because your whole life is involved in taking care of this person, and now they have transitioned, and you're like, okay, so now what do I do? Um, One thing is you have to realize you have to take care of yourself, and get whatever you need as far as counseling, therapy. Um, for a while, I was like, no, I really don't need therapy, you know. But you're having to deal with grief on top of now who am I? You know, what do I do now with my life? You know, you've been going through the motions. This person has been who you have, you know, had your whole life around. So now, what do you do? It, I have been taking steps. Like I said, one thing I did initially, I was like, okay, I'm going to get some grief counseling. I started setting it up, and then I didn't follow through. But then I realized that I was stuck, and I was stuck because of the grief of losing my mom, but also of almost like losing my purpose and what I was now responsible for doing in life, because I no longer had the responsibility of being the caregiver. So now, what do I do? I'm going through the motions. I'm still working, and that's just like a robot. I mean, it's like I know, okay, you get up, go to work, but then, it's like, okay, so what do I do on the weekends? And having the realization that now I can actually plan stuff and do things, on the weekend, because initially, that was very hard to do, was to do things, attend events, go places. But then it took a long time for me to actually realize, okay, now you can actually attend this event. You can actually go here. You can actually hang out. I always had to be, home at a certain time. Um, and, on the weekends, I could no longer really do women of virtue workshops, seminars, activities like that. Women of virtue could no longer participate in the NBC4 Health and Fitness Expo, because that was a whole weekend thing. And, the coordination for that, with my mother's age. But I do thank God that I did have neighbors. I mean, they say it takes a village to raise children. Well, in many instances and cases, it also takes a village to help caregivers care for their loved ones. And I did more so have that village, as well as the home health aides. But getting back to life after being a caregiver, it is really hard for me. Um, I don't know if how other people have dealt with it, but like for me, I still haven't really fully started doing things with women of virtue. I've always made sure that everything is kept up. Our 501c3 is straight, our tax exemption is straight, registration for Maryland is straight. I've always made sure those things are still in place, because I believe eventually I will get back to that. But it's a major process, and it's a step by step, moment by moment process, and really trying to find where you belong in your place now, your responsibility now. What are you going to do now? And like I stated before, now, I can kind of go out. Well, we can't go out too much now. The COVID has come, which is a whole nother issue and situation. But like I said, May of last year, um, really. up until maybe um, December of last year. I It finally hit me. Well, you are free to do things now. You can say yes to events. You can say yes to invitations. You can go and hang out longer than an hour or two. You don't have to arrange for somebody to cover you. Um, it really took till about that time to say, okay, I can do this. But then, of course, then the COVID came. I mean, I had not been on a vacation in a minute. Um, I've wanted to travel to Williamsburg, but I just wasn't able to do that. But now I'm realizing I can whenever everything opens back up. Wherever I can go, I am free to go. And all those things were afterthoughts. Like, I still felt that I was the caregiver and I really could not go anywhere or do anything. So in your mind, you're still kind of there. And again, it takes time, but you can push through and get to where you need to be as far as recognizing that there is life after being a caregiver. Because you kind of, your life has stopped. I mean, you as a person, your life has stopped when you are that caregiver. And now you have to pick up your life again and say, now let me move forward and do those things because I'm able to now. You know, and never did I consider being a caregiver a burden. Um, it was my honor and the love that I had for my mom because she was awesome, and I know she's still with me. But I also know that she will be pushing me forward because she was my biggest cheerleader as far as the things that I was doing with her virtue. And the other little businesses I did, she was my biggest cheerleader and supporter. So I know that she is egging me on. Now, Cecilia, take your life back, do what you need to do, because there is life after caring for me. And you also have to learn now to kind of sit down and map out where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. And believe me, a lot of prayer, like I said, even going through the motion of seeking counseling for grief, I was also able to address the fact that now, you know, I need to regain my life. I need to figure out um, who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm going, because now I can pick up my life again. I can live again. I can do things. Um, I have permission because I know that there's life after being a caregiver. There's so many other points I want to make and so many other things I want to say, but this is my first time, and I wanted to just start it, especially since um, the National Caregiver Month starts next month in November. And I will be coming on to talk about some of the things that I did that helped me. Some of the things I purchased from Amazon, give out some tips and ideas that can help make your life easier in caring for your loved one, based on their needs and just, things like that. So I just wanted to come on here to just preference the things to come, um, and to share. I wanted, other people, if they were interested, to come on. Hopefully I'll be able to get others to come on and talk about their experience, talk about what they've been through, what they're going through, as far as life after being a caregiver, but also some of those who are currently caregivers, that we can talk about it, that we can discuss it, that we can share ideas and things of that nature. So um, I will just make sure that I have uploaded the next time that I will actually be online and live. I'm trying out this StreamYard because this is something that I know that I've wanted to do for a very long time. Always wanted to, especially now, we kind of like have no choice but to go online because Women in Virtue used to do so many in-person events till now we can't do them. I mean, we used to have our teas, we used to have our workshops and seminars, but I'm realizing that we can do these things online and reach people and help them and aid them. So that is one thing that I know is going to be or is a part of my life after being a caregiver is to reboot Women of Virtue because I believe we did some great work. And I know that's what my mother would want me to do, her being one of my biggest supporters. And also just to say, hey, we need to be there for one another and support each other. And again, if there's anyone who wants to be a part of the discussion, want to share, want to participate, just hit me up. Just send me a message or messenger. You can email me. And this is an old email because my Gmail address is very long, but it's chills, CHILLS as in Sam, HLL at AOL.com. But the thing is, I just wanted to test the waters, put my toe in the water before I jump all the way in. But I do believe this is what I need to be doing. This in the here and now. This is a part of my life after being a caregiver. Yes, it's been over a year and several months since my mother's transition, but it can take that long or longer. It just depends on how you're going to work so that you can move forward and do what you know you've been called to do at such a time as this. So blessings to all. This is very short. I didn't get any responses of anyone who wanted to participate or come online. But again, when I schedule another one, I hope that there are those who want to share because that's how we can help one another. It's by sharing um, and just giving each other tips on what we did to get through this and get to the next level and understanding again that there is life after being a caregiver. Blessings.